Okay. Mela. So l-lum kuna nitkellmu fuq traineeships għad European Parliament, ġifiri xumen traineeship. Kif taf l-applications kienu ħarġu in the 1st of May u sa serjal u in the 31st of May. So, x'inhi xumen traineeship? Hija simili għal Blue Book traineeship il-fatt hija waħda mill-ikbar traineeships li issir mill-institutions. U fil-fatt they take in around 400 per each round. Importanti li tiddistingwixxu bejn il-fatt li din hija traineeship mas-Segretarjat tal-Parlament Ewropew, mhux mal-political groups tal-European Parliament, ġifieri mhux mal-IPP laqas l-SND, etc. Hija speċifikament mas-Segretarjat simili bħalma kif kienet it-traineeship tal-Kunsill min attenda. Ovvjament il-xogħol tas-Segretarjat huwa li jissapportja x-xogħol li jkun għaddej bih il-grupp parlamentari, jikkoordina legislative work, jorganizzaw il-plenari u meetings oħrajn u anki joffru assistenza fejn jitlu l-parliamentary bodies, speċjalment il-committees parlamentari u jagħtu s-support tagħhom lill-MPs kif inhu neċessarju. Simili għal kif kienet skużawni, simili bħalma kif kienet tal-Blue Book traineeship hija immirata mainly għal gradwati minn tal-università, anyone who has a bachelor's degree fil-verità, u m'hemmx age limit. Bħala trainees jkunu jistgħu jaħdmu f'setturi differenti, għandek IT, communications, EU internal policies, translation ukoll, però jkunu based Luxembourg, u għandek economics, finance and employment. Issa parti li ovvjament il-binja prinċipali nsejħula li jaħdmu hija bbażata Brussell, però għandek ukoll ibbażati f'Luxembourg u mbagħad għandek il-permanent skużawni, il-liaison offices li jedin li u member states kollha fil-bliet kapitali tagħhom kollha, ġifieri tista' tagħżel li inti tmur ġo pajjiż partikolari u taħdem mal-EPLO, mal-European Parliament Liaison Office hemmhekk. Kif qed ma' kull round hemm jisu 400 places u you can apply multiple times, ġifieri jekk tapplika għal dar round ma jirnexxilekx u tapplika għal the next round mhix problema, anke jekk għandek applications oħrajn għaddejjin relatati ma' xi traineeship la dak ma ċċettajthomx ma marġa lihom, that's fine. Bħala living allowance għandek ta' 1,340 per month. U ovvjament it's a good way to It's a great starting point for your career and to boost your CV. Ovvjament dawn huma l-benefiċċji li għandek with the European Parliament, għandek improved skill set and knowledge, vacation leave, ovvjament. It's a stepping stone to working in the EU u anke ħanispjegawlkom forsi il-programm li hemm waqt li tistgħu tapplikaw għalih wara l-testu traineeship. It's an opportunity to travel kif qed. Ukoll anke jekk tkun based ġewwa Brussell, ovvjament is-seduta is-sit uffiċjali tal-Parlament huwa fi Strasburgu, ġifieri inti tista' tkun qed tagħmel travelling kif forsi mbagħad jgħidulna Nora u Mendi iktar quddiem, travelling bejn Brussell u anke Strasburgu hemmhekk. It's a great experience where you're working with experienced officials. Anki għandek ċans taħdem mal-President tal-Parlament Ewropew, ġifieri hemm ċertu traineeship offers fejn inti tkun tista' taħdem direttament fl-uffiċċju tagħhom. Tajjeb, mela, fejn tistgħu issibu d-dettalji neċessarji, dak kollu li ħanajdu llum huwa qiegħed kollu fil-page tagħhom, European Parliament Traineeships, ma titlax l-ewwel waħda, so you scroll down a bit u ssibuha u tiġi the-landing page, għandek tistgħu taraw għandek fejn tara traineeship offers u mbagħad għandek l-application information. Traineeship offers, as we'll see later on, u fejn ħajkollok listed everything where you can apply. U mbagħad l-application information għandek id-deadline, għandek l-eligibility u anke xi dettalji oħrajn li tagħti magħha. Mela, l-application and selection procedure. Mela, l-eligibility requirements, ovvjament you must be an EU citizen, irrid ikollok degree ekwivalenti għal 3 snin ta' studju, knowledge into EU official languages, one of which must be French or English, ġifieri aħna diġà għandna ċertu vantaġġ għax għandna l-Ingliż u l-Malti u mbagħad any other languages A+. U ma trix tkun għamilt iktar minn 6 ġimgħat in-service training, ġifieri ma tkunx tagħmel xi traineeship żgħir oħra maliju. Anki dak li jgħidulu study visit mas-Sekretarjat tal-Parlament Ewropew, dak laqas ma tkunx tagħmel għax inkella ma tiġix eligibbli għal din l-opportunità. Skużawni, so il-proċess kif jimxi mela għandek l-applikazzjoni li jista' nitlu eżatt fuq kif qiegħda hija ftit differenti minn tal-Blue Book u anke minn tal-Council. F'dal-każ is a bit more straightforward, anzi I would say. Wara li titfa' l-applikazzjoni tiegħek ikun hemm ix-shortlisting, wara x-shortlisting kollok l-eligibility check u mbagħad ikollok is-selection, placement offer, u mbagħad tkun tista' tagħmel id-deċiżjoni tiegħek. Mela, dawn huma traineeship offers, hawnhekk kif qed taraw at the moment 466 available traineeships. Mela, inti l-applikazzjoni tiegħek għal kuntrarju tal-Blue Book, inti ħatmur, ħadħol f'dawn u ħatgħażel l-iktar pożizzjoni li toġbok u għandek sa massimu ta' 3. Għal kull pożizzjoni li ħadd applika li tittella s-CV u anke tittella motivational letter. Ġifieri anke biex tikrea account, m'hemmx għalfejn tikrea account minn qabel, tmur tafas fuq CD offer, tiskrolja tafas apply, u mbagħad tkun tista' tara eżatt, tkun tista' timla l-applikazzjoni tiegħek hemmhekk. Importanti mbagħad ngħidlek sar qudiem ukoll ma tkunx iktar minn 1 page il-motivation letter tiegħek. Mela, dawn huma how to navigate the traineeship offers, ovvjament tistgħu dejjem you put in a searcher, però din hija kif sort of jistrutturawha, ġifieri jekk inti għandek forsi xi field of interest li interessak l-aktar international relations, hekk ħattella f'kulinkwa Director General jew f'kulinkwa committee, jew inkella anke fil-President's Office jew fis-Segretarjat speċifikament, fejn għandhom x'jaqsmu mal-international relations. Jekk għal mbagħad forsi trid tfittex bid-DG, bid-Director General partikolari li inti interessat fih, u mbagħad f'dak il-każ tista' tisselektjak jew inkella għandek ukoll l-option tal-pajjiż. Tista' tagħżel il-pajjiż li jogħġbok inti u tapplika biex tmur hemmhekk. Issa, li nissuġġerixxu qabel ma tibdew taraw traineeship offers actually, you familiarize yourself a bit with the Director Generals, ħalli taraw ix-xogħol li jsiru fihom, it-topics li jittakiljaw, etc. Ħalli intom tikbu l-motivation letter ġa tkunu preparati fuq x'inhu jaħdem is-settur. Jaf inti tara GD for communication, però x-xogħol tiegħu ma jogħġbokx u tippreferi eżempju external policies of the Union. U importanti li tfittxuha, again, it's just a simple Google search European Parliament Director Generals u minn hemm taraw il-lista kollha u tkun tistgħu taraw eżatt ħalli anke l-applikazzjoni tagħkom tigwidawkom aħjar. Apparti jekk tistgħu taraw il-list of committees, hemm ċertu offers li qegħdin tajt kemm ma' DG u kemm ma' committee, ġifieri tajjeb taraw forsi il-committees li hemm u anki forsi kif il-files li din jaħdmu fuqhom iktar ma jkollkom knowledge għalikom anke jekk jkollkom it-telefonata jew l-interview u dejjem aħjar. So try and familiarize yourself with that. Tajjeb, so again, din hija l-application procedure, kif tirreġistra this has to be done after you select your first offer. You upload your CV in Ewropew format, dak il-format biss issa u tella u l-motivational letter. Issa fil-fatt din hija example ta' traineeship offer, ġifieri jiena klikkjajt fuq waħda at random. Ġieli ħassibu jkunu post A, post B, post C. Jista' jkun li dawk huma l-istess roles, imma jew għandhom xi tweaks separati jew huma l-istess imma fetħuha multiple times. Allura dak ġifieri importanti li taqraw mbagħad l-informazzjoni li hemm fiha. Ħajkolkom informazzjoni fuq Director General u mbagħad ukoll se jkollkom informazzjoni ta' what job entails and also what they are looking for. Importanti li dawn taqrawhom sew u you can relate to them as much as possible in the sense li jekk inti ħadd applika l xi ħaġa u għandek ċertu esperjenza fiha, importanti li tniżżilha. Jekk min-naħa l-oħra tajt isma' jien dil-position tinteressani ħafna, imma m'għandix expertise fiha tapplikax għalija f'dak il-każ. Mhux qed ngħidulek ma tapplikax għall-aħħar, però speċjalment Għawek forsi s-saw taraw fl-apply online jkollok il-numru ta' nies li ġa applikaw. Jekk forsi ġiġa tara li applikaw iktar minn 50 persuna li għad il-pozizjoni, inti forsi m'għandekx di exact profile to match it. Aħjar tażel xi ħaġa fi forsi hemm minqas nies li applikaw għalija u inti għandek the profile to match it, ġifieri kunu naqri iktar savvy in that respect. Diħa tarawa dejjem, ġifieri anke qabel ma tafsu l-offer ħatarawa dejjem ta' the number of people that have already applied. Miex ħażin għax ultimately you just need to stand out, ġifieri jekk hemm design persuna però your profile is good, go for it. Però miex idea ħażina li anki mit-tlieta li tażlu forsi jkun hemm waħda li jkunu applikaw inqas nies u tmorru għalija minn flok. Mela, again, writing your motivational letter, keep it simple and informative, kif edna, it is a maximum of 1 page length. Again, kif taraw daw jirċifu volum kbir u il-limited post li jridu jażlu jekk hemm 466 post huwa forsi wieħed jew tnejn għal kull post. So this is quite limited in numbers. Read the notice carefully and make sure your background matches the requirements listed. U kunu informativi għalfejn interessawkom din l-offerta, what sets you apart from the others, forsi attendejx konferenza, l-istudju tiegħek, it-teżi, etc. U kif inti tista' tikkontribwixxi lejn dak id-DG jew il-committee. U wkoll agħti xi eżempji ċari ta' għalfejn inti għandek tintgħażel bħala kandidat. Issa, din importanti. Għalkemm vera sajtu li hemm 3 motivation letters, jaf tkun naqra ta' kedda, però importanti li kull motivation letter tkun unika, ġifieri ħalli forsi jkun hemm ċertu elementi ta' dwarek li jibqgħu l-istess, però importanti li tkun differenti and it's tailor-made for each one li tkun specifika għal vacancy li hemm kif edna il-background tiegħek ma' requirements li hemm li siddaw mhux dejjem ħajaqblu, ġifieri attenti kif tapplikaw għalihom. U nerġa' ngħid ukoll dawk li jkunu A, B u C, jekk jittaraw li huma l-istess pożizzjoni, tapplikawx għalihom għax bażikament tapplika l-istess ħaġa u inti aħjar you maximize where you're applying for minflok tapplika għal A u għal B. You can do that, ta' ġifieri tista' tapplika għal A u għal B, imma aħjar titfa' l-applikazzjoni tiegħek għal A u mbagħad ikun hemm u żewġ pożizzjonijiet oħra ma' żewġ DGs kompletament differenti. Jaf tkun aħjar f'dak il-każ u ċansis tiegħek jikbru. Again, selection procedure infisa jagħmlu l-assessment tiegħek, you are shortlisted, jagħmlu eligibility check u mbagħad ikun hemm selection and admission. Issa importanti kif dejjem ngħidu, dak kollu li ħatajdu fl-applikazzjoni tagħkom importantissimu li jkun provat. Issa, jekk hawn min forsi u din hija ta' vantaġġ għalina jekk forsi hawn xi ħadd jatterdje u qatt m'għandux iċ-ċertifikat ovvjament la jiggradwa, peress li l-eligibility check issir bejn Lulju u Awwissu, tista' tapplika għalija probabbli, però jkun riskju. Għax jista' jkun il-ċertifikat ma joħroġ jew għall-inqas l-official transcript li inti ħadd id-degree ma jkunx ħared bejn Lulju u Awwissu. Però strictly speaking tistgħu tapplikaw għalihom għax l-eligibility check ħassir fis-sajf. Però nerġa' ngħid importanti jkollok id-dokumenti kollha in order u tkollkom kollox kif suppost. Tajjeb, again, kif edna preparaw id-dokumenti kollha, jekk hemm bżonn xi translations preparawhom minn qabel. Again, għaxan kif tkun shortlisted jaf ikunu għal ftit ġimgħat u jaf anke jkun fis-sajf, ġifieri jekk jgħidulek f'Lulju jaf ma jkollokx biżejjed ċans biex tiġbor id-dokumenti kollha. Mbagħad preparaw kollox hemmhekk u jekk ikollkom phone interview, tajjeb li ma tirrifjutawx mill-ewwel, ġifieri anke jekk ma tkunx xi pożizzjoni illi inti ma forsi mhix daqshekk interessanti għalik, daw ikunu tkellmu bejniethom, probabbli jkunu raw il-profile tiegħek u huwa tajjeb illi you consider it and don't turn it down. Għax once you turn it down, then you are disqualified. So hija importanti. Tajjeb, so kif taħdem il-proċedura, għat-traineeship ta' Ottubru li din you have to apply by 31st May, ix-shortlisting jkun bejn l-ewwel u l-15 ta' Ġunju, u tella documents for eligibility ġifieri hemm 2 weeks chance. Mbagħad għandek l-admissions up to 31st August, ġifieri għandhom sal-aħħar tas-sajf biex jikkuntattjawk. If you don't make it with this round, l-applications jerġgħu jiftħu 1st of October, and you have to apply by the 31st of October. Shortlisting mbagħad jisir f'Diċembru U għandek l-admissions ikunu sal-aħħar ta' Jannar u traineeship tibda f'Marzu. Issa waqt forsi anki jekk tkun trid tgħidilna xi ħaġa Charlene, jekk tkun trid, din rigward il-career progression. Mela, simili għal bħalma għandhom il-Blue Book għandhom il-Junior Professional Program, għandna wkoll ix-Schumann Development Program. Dan huwa programm miftuħ biss għal Schumann trainees u they take in around 50 trainees per year, ġifieri kull session jieħdu around 25, l-istess bħal tal-Blue Book. Id-differenzija tal-Blue Book għandek limit fuq l-esperjenza li jista' jkollok, ġifieri jekk mhux sejra ħażin irid ikollok biss 4 snin tal-Blue Book, però għal din m'għandekx limit. Jista' ma jkollokx professional experience, jista' jkollok professional experience that exceeds 4 years. It does not make a difference. Ġifieri jiktar vantaġġjuża fil-verità. Bħala application procedure, inti tikkuntattja d-digital unit tiegħek biex huma jikkuntattjaw huma jikkonfermaw that you were a good trainee u jagħmlulek sort of analysis from their end u mbagħad jistidnuk għal multiple choice questionnaire test, a short written test and an interview. Ġifieri hemm proċess għalija wkoll. Mbagħad wara li tlisti dal-programm ikun hemm iċ-ċans tista' tibqa' bħala contract agent. Charlene, ma nafx hekk tiġi xi ħaġa oħra rigward dal-programm min-naħa tiegħek.
Grazzi Fejt u proset tal-li qegħdin torganizzaw dan l-avveniment. Ħseb il-qatt il-punti kollha rigward il-Schumann Development Program biex nagħmel kjarifika il-JPP tal-Kummissjoni inqas minn 3 snin irid ikollok mhux 4 snin. Iżda fil-każ ta' Schumann Development Program kif qed inti stess m'għandekx bżonn ma tagħmilx differenza professional experience li jkollok. Kif qalet tajjeb Fejt, hija importanti speċjalment fejn tidħol il-motivational letter. Ġieli kellna istanti fejn ġibduna l-attenzjoni anke Maltin li poġġew fuq il-bordijiet fejn qalulna illi fil-motivational letter ikun hemm eżempju min jikkopja mis-CV. That is not a motivation. Motivation trid tkun specific għall-area illi inti qiegħed tapplika. Ġifieri hija importanti ħafna li tiddedikaw ftit ħin meta tkunu qegħdin timlew l-applikazzjoni tagħkom. Għaliex ovvjament tistgħu tiġu skwalifikati mal-ewwel. Issa bħala traineeship vera ma jtikx garanzija illi ħajkollok impjieg, imma tal-inqas tieħu taster ta' kif taħdem l-Unjoni Ewropea u tkun taf jekk hix karriera għalik. Issa mbagħad tista' tiddeċiedi anke li tidħol eżempju mal-gvern u taħdem f'affarijiet in relation ma' your careers. Ġifieri hemm diversi prospettivi meta inti tkun trainee u anke jekk ma jirnexxilekx mal-ewwel round dejjem tista' tipprova anke f'istituzzjonijiet diversi. Ġifieri aħna dejjem nippruvaw nissuġġerixxu li tibdew il-karriera tagħkom minn hemmhekk u aħna bħala rappreżentanza nikkollaboraw mas-SEM fejn jidħlu l-webinars bħal tal-lum, kif ukoll meta jkun hemm trainees nippruvaw nagħmlu anke events ġewwa l-ambaxxata u llum il-ġurnata qegħdin nagħmluhom hybrid ħalli anke dawk it-trainees li ma jkunux located ġewwa Brussell ikunu jistgħu jipparteċipaw u fil-fatt it-testimonials illi ħajkun hemm kienu parteċipaw anke fl-events tagħna u kellhom anke l-opportunità jintaqgħu mal-permanent representative max-chef de cabinet mal-attaches rispettivi biex anke jkunu jistgħu jiddiskutu areas ta' interess għalihom għaliex kienu qegħdin isegwu l-istess files. Jekk ikun hemm xi mistoqsijiet inkun nista' anke nirrispondi min-naħa tiegħi u nawguralkom. Grazzi.
Thank you, Charlene. Kemm forsi nsemmi kif anki semmejna bħalissa hemm ukoll mal-Ministeru hemm il-pożizzjonijiet ta' Second Secretary u anki Policy Officer jekk hawn xi ħadd forsi interessat jista' jkellimna wara u nigwidawkom naqra iktar fuq dawk il-pożizzjonijiet li hemm miftuħin. Ma nafx hekk forsi hawn xi mistoqsijiet rigward dak li tkellimna fuq issa llum.
Grazzi Fejt, da mhux l-ewwel information session li attendejtu dejjem tagħti session veru dettaljatu li ringrazzjak għal-jum. As such m'għandix mistoqsijiet dwar dan is-session iktar fuq is-second secretary la semmejthom issa, ma ovvjament nistenna sal-aħħar
Mux
Jekk nkun
problema,
nista'
mux
dejjem.
problema. Ma nafx hekk kanni xi ħaġa fit-chat box, però ħana ngħaddu għall-speaker sana, ta' mbagħad jekk fil-każ nkunu nistgħu nitkellmu wara ta' Jordan rigward dik, ta' alright? Mikela, ma nafx hekk hemm xi ħaġa. Alright. Tajjeb, mela, ma nafx hekk Nora u Mandy, alright? Tajjeb, okay, tajjeb. Ħanħallu recording għaddej minna ħatana, is that fine from your end, okay? Tajjeb, alright. Mela, minna nibdew, Mandy, fidejk.
Hello, alright. Tistaw tismawni? Kollox? Is-sound tajjeb? Alright. Hello. Mela, bażikament l-ewwel qed naf li palissa żmien l-eżamijiet ġifieri ma nafx jekk kulħadd għandu ġenb biex jerġa' jmur lura jistudja, ma insomma. Mela, ħanaqleb għal-Ingliż. Basically, I'm a trainee in the cabinet of the president. I'm currently still a trainee as my original 5-month contract was further extended for a further 3 months. So I'm currently still at the European Parliament. Essentially, so I know that obviously now, as I mentioned before, is the exam season. So I'm sure that an application is the last thing that you probably feel like working on. But I really encourage you to take this opportunity seriously and obviously give your application the attention that it needs. I understand maybe it's not the most straightforward process, but to be honest, I feel like once you start working on it, things become more understandable and simpler. So essentially, a few tips that maybe I have in this respect, just from my experience, is that if you're given the opportunity, which in fact it's possible on the website to apply for more than one position, I recommend you do that. I know probably you would always have kind of a favorite position which you would like to, which would be your first preference, let's say. But I still encourage you to apply for as the maximum that you can, just to obviously keep your opportunities as open as possible. I encourage you also in your CV and also maybe in your motivation letter, even though I know it's probably a bit limited, I encourage you to list everything that you've taken part in. So for example, at university, I had started off as the Secretary General of MUSC, then I had gone into ELSA Malta as the treasurer, then I got involved in the Global Shapers Hub. Like, these things are very beneficial on your CV and they look good because you show that you are active, that you weren't just stuck at home studying, looking at your books, but rather you used your time to kind of get involved in as many things as possible. Essentially, my work consisted, so first I applied to the Internal Policies and Legislation unit in the cabinet of the president, and now on my extension I currently work as a trainee in the speech writing section of the cabinet of the president. It's been a very, very, very positive experience so far. I feel like I came into this basically not knowing what to expect, but it's been a very positive experience so far, so much so that I decided that I'd like to continue my studies in European law, and I'll be reading for a master's later on this year. I'll be starting a master's basically in European law. I think one of the really nice things about this traineeship is that you are actually inside the European Parliament itself. So basically you're in the building literally where all the committee meetings take place, where there's the hemicycle. Obviously when guests come, you always try and get some sort of glimpse from wherever you are. So it's really nice to see everything actually working in practice. With regards to life in Brussels, it's been really nice. I was actually very pleasantly surprised. I had never been to Belgium before I had even moved here, and everybody is very inclusive. I feel like the fact that everybody is, and well, most people living in Brussels are expats. It's very easy to make connections, to make friends. Everybody is kind of willing to help each other out, which has been a really, really positive experience. And it's also nice when you're living away from home. As I think Faith mentioned it before, the fact that we have English as one of our national languages is also a big help, both when it comes to obviously meeting people, but also at work. So it's a very positive thing that we've had English obviously as our national language. I do encourage you to maybe, if you have French already, but I mean, I had a basic level, and here I came, when I arrived in Brussels, I realized that I really wanted to improve my level of French because I realized how much it's very useful here as well. And with regards to, because I'm sure this is a very common question, with regards to accommodation, I'm sure you've heard that it's probably not the easiest situation, but I do recommend that as soon as you find out whether you're pre-selected, selected, obviously once you reach the last stage of the process, I do recommend that you start looking for accommodation as soon as possible, because it can be a bit of a challenge. But at the end of the day, I feel like there's something, so you'll always find something. But obviously it's important to make it a priority once you've been selected. I'm not sure if there are any questions you have in particular, but obviously I'm sure Nora will add on to what I've said already. So if you have any questions, feel free to ask.
Thank you, Mandy. I think we can move on to Nora.
Good. Okay. So is it okay? Does it sound okay?
Yes, it's okay.
So I am still working at the Parliament as well. So I started with the Mandy in the October 2022 session, and it's been 7 months now, and it's a really great experience if you manage to get your hands on it. So basically, I am fresh out of university, so I did apply before I had my certificate, my transcripts in hand, so on and so forth. And there was a bit of a hitch, I would say, because one of the eligibility criteria is that you would have to finish your degree 3 months before your traineeship started. But it was sorted, the university was very helpful, the Parliament was very helpful from their side as well. So do apply for it, even if you think that checkbox might not be ticked yet. For me, at least, it was handled and it was sorted, and I still managed to do my traineeship. So I originally applied to 3 posts, which is the maximum number of posts you can apply to. So I applied for private office and public relationship in the cabinet of the president, as well as communications post A and communications post B, as I'm graduated in English and communications. So that was kind of my area. And I was selected for private office and public relations, which then led me to do mainly work on trips, work on protocol for the president herself. The extracurricular activities in Brussels are incredible, and most of them are even organized by the Schumann traineeship community. So there is also like a little group and a little organization within the Parliament itself for Schumann trainees who are elected by Schumann trainees. And basically they try to organize and get together as many people as possible so that even your networking kind of grows whilst you're here. And I believe they've done a couple of hiking trips and a couple of trips outside Brussels themselves. I think they've been to Ghent, to Bruges. Mandy has mentioned the point of accommodation, and it is a struggle, but it's also an experience in itself, I believe. So when I moved here originally, I was living with another 10 people, which sounds like a lot, and it is a lot, but the houses are accustomed to hold that many people, and it's a very fast way of making new friends. It's a very fast way of building relationships while you're here, because most of you will move alone, and it's scary at first, and it feels terrifying to be out of the country for a number of months, but it is an experience in itself, and I think it's one of the best things that most people should experience. I mean, it's been great so far. I don't know if there are any other questions. I think Mandy covered most of it. That's it from my side, basically.
Thank you, Nora. If there's any questions from Mariah or Jordan, feel free to go ahead. I think thank you for both. I mean, it was very informative from your end, so thank you for that. We'll be uploading now the recording on our website, so other people can view these testimonials. If nobody else has anything, I'm seeing that someone just connected now, unfortunately. We'll be stopping the recording now. Just the last bit. We'll just do a quick recap of what we have been doing. That's all of what we spoke about. Just a quick recap. So again, the Schumann traineeship opens twice a year, and there are around 400 trainees which are selected for each round. As both Mandy and Nora have said, that applying requires some time, so please do make sure that you take your time. There's still around 13 days left, so you still have some time. And ideally, if you could apply for all 3 positions so that you better increase your chances. Nora, if you don't mind me asking, were position A for communications and position B different from each other, or were they the same?
They were identical to each other. It's just that
Okay.
people in the same post do, I mean, communications is a very big aspect. So I'm
Yeah.
sure that these were doing different things, but the field was, the application process was exactly the same and the requirements were the same.
Okay, all right, good to know, good to know. All right, great. So keep that in mind also when you're applying. As we said, make sure that you have your documents in order. And if you have any issues, that if you just finished university and you're having issues with your transcripts or anything, feel free to contact us, info.medgov.nt, or on our Facebook, just give us a message or something. And whatever we can, we'll try and assist you, even if it means communication with DUP or something. Just let us know and we'll try to assist you as best as we can. Of course, we are limited of some aspects that we can do, but we'll try our best. And also keep an eye out. I mean, after this one, there will be now in August, the applications for the Blue Book traineeship will open. So that's another thing that you can look forward to if you don't manage with this application with itself. And there's also Eurodesk, where you can find more opportunities. And also, hopefully later on in this year, we'll have the EPSO competitions which open and which may be relevant to many of you who are listening in. And of course, if you don't manage with the first try, don't give up. It's not the end of the world. But we have very good examples here with Nora and Mandy that managed to get in with the first try, showing us that it's not impossible to get in as many of us think it is. All right, I think that's all from our end. If there are any questions, feel free to drop us a line or something, either on our Facebook or anywhere, and we'll just move on to the other queries. Does anyone have a question before we stop the recording? I think we're good.